Welcome to TLC for the Soul podcast, where soul meets spirit. You have entered into sacred space. I'm your host, TAMI Chambers, and I'm here to help you shine. Now let's get going on this podcast journey. Hello, friends. Hello. And welcome to Bringers of the Light Sunday. Welcome, welcome. Come on in and let's hang out for a little bit. I do have a topic that I've been wanting to cover with us for a while now, and I thought we would just casually, it's super casual. It's Sunday morning that I'm recording this right before the Aries full moon in the beginning of October 2025. But this really is a timeless topic for whenever you find it. And I just need to get comfortable on my pillow. It's like windstorming outside. It's like 50-mile-an-hour wind gusts. Can't be outside again to record a video. So I've got the pumpkin spice candle going right here. And I brought in a few decks. The Psychic Heart Tarot, the Hush, and the Fairies Oracle, and whatever else they guide me to use here. Before we go any further, though, I want to wrap us all in love light and light love, inviting in the guides who overlight TLC for the soul, Archangel Michael, Archangel Metatron, Pleiadians, and a host of all the many TLC for the soul guides that pop in and out of our space. I'm thinking you want to get comfy. You may, I don't have pajamas on. I've actually done a whole lot of stuff already this morning, but you may want to just get comfortable. I have my TLC for the soul cup, my Lovebirds cup, and it's already almost lunchtime, but I'm still like drinking my morning drink. And the topic I want to talk about, that I want us to talk about today, that I want the guides to come in and help us with on this beautiful morning, and the ancestors, whoever's here, you may want to invite in your own guides for this one, is the topic about, it's going to pertain to any situation where you feel like you're stuck and you can't move forward, or move beyond this thing. Like you're being kept in this certain space, place, situation, relationship, and it feels outside of your control. Like you're being there, you're being kept there, obviously to learn lessons, because everything, we're going to go back to like some energetic teachings, right? Everything is energy. We are spiritual beings living in an energy world. So if you get too close to certain, and I'm going to ask the guides, like, guide my lips and guide my words, so I don't go too off topic. And I don't want this to be too long either, because I know it can get hard to listen to these things when they go beyond like 20 or 30 minutes. So we'll see where we end up. But if we get too into certain situations where we feel like, where we have resistance, where we feel like we don't want to be there, or that our higher selves or our soul plan or source or whoever you want to blame has moved us into these situations to teach us a lesson in this lifetime, then the reality is, when you get too close, you fall into like a victim. You can fall into like a victim mentality if you're not reminding yourself of how the energy world works, that there's spiritual laws we have to abide by, the whole law of karma, the whole law of cause and effect, the laws of change. And we can forget sometimes when these things are in our face of the higher consciousness reason of why we're here. And even when you are coming from a place of higher consciousness, I think you can still get frustrated with like, why has it been, I don't know, name your time frame, a year, 5 years, 10, 20, 30 years. I've seen people sometimes in comments on other people's videos like, it's been 50 years and I'm still in this situation. I'm like, holy smokes, then it can get a little daunting. Like, is this situation or relationship or thing gonna like last this entire lifetime? The other thing to be thinking about too is the karma and the soul lessons go with the soul and not the body. So you could still be, I don't know, they're saying rectifying situations and past life stuff, karma from obviously past lives, things beyond this lifetime. And that what you're doing in this lifetime is not just setting you up for the future of this lifetime, it's setting you up for future lifetimes in other bodies, in other incarnations, in other things beyond the however many years you're going to be on this planet in this body that you're in now. And I think that can sometimes motivate us to keep going, because it's like, if this situation or whatever it is, I'll just be very glib. Like, if it feels like crap now, I don't want to feel that way later on in my life, depending on how old you are. Or I don't want my future incarnations to be like this either. And so a lot of times I feel like there's a lot of people that are like, I don't want to be here anymore. I don't want to be on this planet anymore. I just don't want to be in this lifetime anymore. And it's like, well, if you don't fix whatever's happening now, then you could decide you want to leave your body. But the problem with that is that you will carry that forward to the next lifetime, and you'll just be having the same experiences, maybe with different, it'll look different, but it'll be the same underlying experiences you're trying to mend now. And so you're kind of subjecting your future selves to this same thing. So at some point, the only way to do it is to go through it, I think. And that's why your higher self, your soul, or whatever has brought you here in this lifetime at this point in time. I think there's a lot of astrology and stuff happening on the planet right now, planetary rising up, so to speak, of consciousness, that's helping people be able to take care of some of these situations now that maybe in past lifetimes, yeah, I'm getting a lot of chills there, that you couldn't take care of because your consciousness just could not wrap itself around what was going on. And maybe, you chose to leave the planet earlier than expected, or something happened, or, whatever the case may be. So the question then that I would want to ask our guides to expand on for us, and I'm inviting you, all your guides, to come hang out here and help us, and the ancestors and your past life selves, to come in and help us with these questions. And this is a video, a talk where you may want to just close your eyes and go into sacred space and ask the same thing, because it's a hard answer to hear when you're mired in the emotions and the mental, trying to figure it out with your mental body, and mired down in your emotions of, how sucky it is and all that. Because I've tried that too. Like, this just sucks, whatever. You say for yourself, this situation sucks. Why am I still here doing this, whatever it is? And then at that point, the only reason you're still there is because of the lessons that you haven't learned yet, and that you still need to learn, I guess. That you still need to, I don't think perfect is the right word, but I think you need to go through it, understand it, practice whatever the lesson is that you're learning, and then you're allowed to move beyond that, and then the lesson doesn't come up anymore. And I heard, I don't know who said this the other day. It may have been Asha. I've been listening to Asha Nayaswami a lot. I'm trying to listen to all her teachings. I don't know how much longer she's going to be on the planet. She's in her 80s now. And she has a big library on YouTube. But I think she said that the things that still trigger you are the lessons you still need to learn. And the things that you're just like, that's not a big deal at all, are the things that you've maybe in this lifetime or past lifetimes kind of, they just keep saying perfected, which I don't know that we're striving for some sort of weird perfectionism. I don't think that's the type of perfected that they're talking about. They're talking about, what are you guys talking about? Because we keep talking about perfected. Rising beyond it and seeing things from a higher state of consciousness, and then responding in a different way is, in a sense, I guess, perfecting the situation at hand, or whatever the lessons are. And then you rise above them and they don't like bother you anymore, and then you're able to move on. Now, your situation, my situation, somebody else's situation, they're all going to be different, right? And they're all going to be like feeling like the suckiest to us, because there are lessons to learn. And when you talk to other people who tell you, like, what's going on in their life and how sucky it is for them, you may be like, that doesn't really sound bad at all. That's kind of what I'm talking about too. So it's like, I don't know that we'll throw out certain situations, but just think of your own. And what we want to pull a few cards around and ask Source on, and our guides, is what are the lessons that still need to be learned before this situation will close itself out, and before you'll be able to move forward and move beyond that. And there's all sorts of wind. I don't know if you'll be able to hear it. There's parts of my house blowing off. We had a really major bad storm like the beginning of the year. In the springtime, it was called a derecho, and there was like 75-mile-per-hour sustained winds for like 30 minutes in the storm, and in addition to tornadoes and everything, and the sirens, and my house sustained a lot of damage in that storm. So we're slowly working to like fix the things that happened there. So you may hear like something blowing. There's some siding that's loose way up here by the roof that's blowing right now. I can hear it. All right, Spirit. So let's get into this. What are the lessons that still need to be learned? And you may get parrot guidance too, because what I found is sometimes I'll ask the same question on different days, and it's very funny because there's a certain deck and the same card keeps coming out, and I'm like, I don't want this card. I don't understand it, and I don't want it to be that reason. So I pulled some different decks. So think of your situation. I've got the Hush Tarot first, and I pulled some decks that have like really good little guidebooks. Think of your situation, and the question is, what lessons still need to be learned before you can move beyond this situation, before you perfected, I guess, for lack of a better word, perfected the consciousness around this situation? I don't even know. I'm just going to keep going. Okay, so what are some of the lessons that still need to be learned? Okay. All right, so 2 cards fell out. I like it when they jump out. All right, let's see. What are they? Oh, crikey. They came out together. So it's the 8 of Pentacles, which is all about self-mastery. Oh, geez. And it came out with the World card. So let's read, because this guidebook has some different meanings than the typical tarot meanings, and I like reading what it says. So the 8 of Pentacles is like this guy, and he's like working on all these like scary faces and scary heads. And I have these autumnal decks because up here in the Northern Hemisphere we're in the autumn season right now. But the 8 of Pentacles, okay, we said what lessons? The 8 of Pentacles is it came in upright. So focus and creativity. You continue to push towards refinement of your goals. All the details are coming into focus. The steps along the way have your ups and downs scribed into them. Well, that almost makes it feel like the steps along the way have your ups and downs scribed into them. And then the World card is card number 21. Completion of accomplishment, realization of goals. Through determination and hard work, you have reached your goals. Like a view from a high window, she surveys her accomplishments. The arch appears to be withered and near collapse. See your life and how your decision making at every twist and turn has brought you to this point. On closer look, the arch is not coming down, but being built up. Cathedral ants work tirelessly to build giant, intricate structures that last through the onslaught of storms and leave a home for generations. That's funny, the storms. This sparrow on her hand represents that you have a handle on your past problems. Setbacks and disasters are in the past. You have experience and knowledge for the future. This card shows you the power you hold. So I would say there with these two together that you're still obviously, whether you like the answer or not, you've still got work to do to get to the World card is like the last card in the major arcana of the tarot. It's like you've still got work to do to come through this arch, which is being built up, and to be able to step beyond this situation. Yeah, but what kind of work? What is the work? All right, let's get this heart, psychic tarot of the heart. I think that's it. I think it's very big spirit, like what is the work? Because is it just simply practicing the things you've already learned over and over and over again ad nauseum until spirit decides? Or who decides? Does spirit decide? Does your higher self decide? Do your guides decide? Does God decide? Angels decide? Who's deciding that you perfected this enough to where you can move beyond it? Is it a mixture of karma? I mean, yeah, is it a mixture of karma and is a mixture of karma? They're just having me stop there. Is it a mixture of karma? A mixture of karma. What does that mean? Are you then, is the person then working to release negative karma and build up positive karma as part of it too? Yes. Okay, they're saying yes. So you could be quote unquote stuck, although if depending on who you talk to, if you listen to Asha, every situation obviously she's very balanced. Every situation's horrific, but at the same time it's a blessing because it's helping you move beyond whatever it is, right? Because in the perfected world or the perfected consciousness, you wouldn't be in this situation if you didn't have something to learn or if there wasn't some blessing or reward coming at the end of what you're here to accomplish. And so it seems like what Spirit's saying then is there's some karma that needs to be cleaned up, for lack of a better word. There's some negative karma, either your own or if somebody else is involved, it could be karmic balancing between people or groups of people, depending on what your situation is. And the karma has to be balanced. And the person with the higher consciousness, so it has to be the one to initiate the balancing of the karma because they're the ones with the self-awareness to know that that's what they need to do. So this is what I'm finding too in these situations, especially involving other people, is one person is awakened or of a higher consciousness, and the other one or the other groups of people are not so much so. They're farther behind. They may be partially awake, but they're not self-aware, meaning they don't, yeah, I'm getting big chills there, meaning that they don't, do like what we're doing, like, oh crap, this is happening, and they don't go within, and they don't see it as their problem. I mean, they don't see it, they don't see it as their problem. They see it as your problem or somebody else's problem, and so they never look beyond that. They see it as from a victim mentality, and they never go within to say, like, because I'm an energy being living, or because I'm a spiritual being living in an energy world, these things are happening to me because there's something I need to move beyond. I need to learn. I need to perfect. I need to move to a higher consciousness. I need to clear up some karma. And until I can do that, so you see it as something that you need to initiate in order to move beyond it. And the other people, if it's people or a situation, the other situations or people are of I'll just say lower consciousness, for lack of a better way of putting it. They're not self-aware, and so they never get to move beyond it. And for them, these situations can last much, much longer. All right. So we're still asking the question, what are the lessons? If it's just different for everybody, we might not get a straight answer, but maybe we can pick up through this relationship of the heart. Tara, what is the karma? What is the negative karma that needs to be cleared? How can we do that? How can we clear that karma? What are we supposed to be doing? Are we just supposed to be some passive, like, karma is just going to clear through time? Or was it like, sometimes I'm like, is it like we're just in servitude to this situation, like a slave to the grind until some being, I keep saying it, is it some being that decides that it's the karma's clear, or what? Like, those are the hard questions that I cannot get good or straight answers to. So let's see if there's anything else that comes out. This is a nice colored deck. Is there anything else about that you can share with us? Detach. Oh, so when these hard questions come up, a lot of the times the spirit is just telling us, like, to detach from them. But this is card number 11, which I don't, this is a major arcana. Let me just see. Detach is the Justice card in the major arcana. Keywords. Okay, we said what lessons, and the keywords are reflect, accept, decide, clarity, responsibility, and fairness. Sometimes our ego prevents us from seeing events clearly. It's time to detach emotionally from a relationship or situation so that you can step back and reevaluate. Reflect upon how the relationship is working. Is it satisfying? What role do you play in its harmony or disharmony? An honest appraisal is required in order to gain clarity and help you better understand what might need to be done to improve it. This is true even if the relationship is already a good one. It's important to accept that your previous actions, this is the karma, decisions and beliefs have led you to your current situation, whether it's pleasant or difficult. We do steer the course of our lives, although often without conscious intent. By assessing your situation and accepting responsibility for it, you're able to free yourself from the need to blame another person or destiny. There's no guilt associated with this card, only clarity and empowerment. Once you've detached yourself from and examined a relationship, lack of relationship, or other matter of the heart, you're in a better position to decide what your next step might be. Remember that the detached card knows no ego. Decisions arrived at as a result of drawing this card must be fair and balanced for everyone involved. And the affirmation is, I accept the role I play in creating my relationships and my life. That still doesn't answer my question. I mean, it does in a sense, like detach. And so maybe that's what each person has to do, is detach from the situation and let yourself be guided through it. Well, that's just like the whole going with the flow. That's the whole, like, your higher self knows the way, and you just kind of detach and let yourself be led through whatever this is. because they're telling me, well, you're just looking for the quick end to this stuff that's uncomfortable. And I'm like, yes, we are. And we'd like some sort of promise, I guess, or some sort of like positiveness around the fact that, like, do we have to stay like this for the rest of our lives and whatever the situation is? For some people, the rest of your life could only be like, who knows how long, right? It could be tomorrow. It could be 10 years, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. I don't know how old you are, right? We don't know how long we have in this body. And so this just goes back to the, enjoy each moment as it comes, and let yourself be guided by your guides and your higher self and source to the outcomes that are necessary to help you perfect. So what I'm getting as I'm sitting here with this, I think, is this. Yeah, they're giving me chills again, which if you're newer here, that's my confirmation from Spirit. Like, that's what they're trying to get me to understand. I think what they're trying to say here is, if they gave us like every little thing, like, well, you need to correct A, B, C, and D, that you then, because you're a conscious creator of your reality, are going to try to meddle in the outcomes of things to get to a quick resolution. So if we said, I don't know, it could be anything, but if we said, here's the things you need to do, here's the things you have to do to perfect this situation, move beyond it, that you then would start kind of meddling in and driving the boat yourself. And you could make it, they're saying, potentially harder on yourself, because that's the whole ego I think I was talking about, because ego is like, to me, the mental thoughts and stuff. You will think you know how to overcome whatever it is that's going on. And it's like, no, Spirit, there is a plan. I think that's comforting to hear too, is that there is a plan that you came up with before you incarnated into this body that you're in now. And so your higher self and source and your guides are just trying to help you follow that plan. Now, this isn't the whole, there's a whole other discussion about changing your dharma and changing your life path. Like, if you came in to do something a certain way and you don't like how that sounds now, you're able to change that. And they're saying, this is not that. This is you having to learn a lesson. And you can change it. And I guess what can be changed, I think, in a sense, is your thoughts around how you handle this situation. But also, I think you can continue to affirm that you don't want to be in this situation any longer than you have to be. Because I think in past lives, especially, or maybe even earlier, like in childhood, where the consciousness was not, the soul was not as, that's not the soul. The mental body was not as kind of, evolved as like an adult's mental thoughts and emotions and all that. And so I think there could have been this thing to feel like you were trapped in a situation. And in some lifetimes you could have been trapped in a situation. And then people kind of just resolutely gave into the situation and said, well, there's nothing I can do to change it. I'm just stuck here forever. And I'm getting chills. And so there's nothing I can do. So at that point, because you, as the conscious creator of your reality, say that, then your guides cannot interfere with your free will choice, and they're not going to do anything to help you really change anything. There are exceptions to that rule, but for the most part, what I'm saying is how it kind of works. And so now in this lifetime, where you're maybe more conscious that you create your own reality, you could have been put into a situation or in a relationship to learn certain lessons, but rather than being resolute, like, I'm trapped here slaving. I just keep saying something going on with slavery. Must be somebody past lives with slavery or something might be coming into this as well. But you may just feel like, I'm stuck here forever and there's nothing I can do about it, so why even try anymore? And the guides are saying, no, this is the part where you can change the life path, and you can consciously manifest a new reality in this lifetime by continuing to affirm that. Your guides know this, but it helps you, I think, to feel like you're in control, and continuing to affirm and manifesting a different reality for yourself. So if it's a different partner, a different relationship, a different job, a different situation, different group of people, you can say, I'm not, yeah, I'm getting chills. Yeah, I'm not trapped here. I do have the ability to, quote unquote, change my mind and intend different things. And I'm not meant to be here any longer than I have to be if I don't want to be. Now, you might have to listen to that several times. The have to be is the part where you have to clear the negative karma, practice, build up the positive karma. So, it's going to be a different time frame for everybody. But the thing that you're continuing to affirm is that with the work that you're doing now is leading you out of the situation of the relationship that you're in, maybe faster than it would have if you just gave yourself in, gave in, like, well, this is the way it's going to be. I'll be here for the rest of my life. And I have known people like that, like in my mom's generation, who lived, in this case was a partner, and they didn't want to be with the partner. But as they got older and older, they just kept saying, well, I'm here. And marriage in a certain time frame was like forever, and a certain religion, sometimes it's forever and you can't get out of it. Or they felt like they couldn't, for whatever reason. And so they just stayed, and then 80s, 90s, it's too late at that point, then they passed. And really, you can change your mind. You can change your mind and you can manifest a new reality. But in order to move into that new reality, the thing that you came here to do in this lifetime, which is to clear this karma, this negative karma, and practice some of these higher consciousness teachings of like Christ consciousness and all that. These things are going to have to be learned and perfected before you can move beyond this situation. Okay, 31 minutes. Okay, they're saying last card. So last card, because there's a lot of juicy bits here, and I think this is one of those teachings where you might have to listen to it like more than once because of the metaphors and stuff. Because I think even though it sounds like I'm talking very like logically saying things, I think hidden within what I'm saying for your own situation is going to be these hidden like metaphors and meanings that you're going to have to take a minute to listen to, and let your guides tell you, like, this one is more important, is important for you, and have you dive deeper into that. Okay, yeah, they're giving me too many chills. All right, so the last one is from the Fairies Oracle by Brian Froud. Anything else you guys want to talk about in this? Oh, I love her. She's one of my favorite cards. The green woman. She came out in reverse, so this book does have a lot about reversal. So she is card number 23. Wildness, natural magic, expectant gratitude. That's that thing that we kind of forget. I know I do. That's that thing, like being grateful for what you have now, but expectant gratitude is being grateful for things that are yet to come. Untrammeled, that is a word that's not very used very often. Untrammeled creativity. The green woman dances naked in the moonlight and in the sunlight and the shadows as well. She doesn't care what you think of her. She knows her own worth from her experience of life. She is the feminine, vital, vegetative force, I love wordplay, that enables a root to crack stone, the reed to bend in the wind, and the oak to stand against the storm. The graceful slow motion dance of the green woman shows us how to release the constraints of artificial rules and limitations and find our true pattern of growth. Each of us, rooted or not, has an inborn pattern of perfection to guide our growth. Earth Mother nurtures us. Sun Father energizes us. and storms batter us, and sometimes we must bend before them. This is about releasing resistance. So what's going on? Other life preys upon us on the one hand and nourishes and supports us on the other hand. That's the whole victim. Is it a blessing or is it a curse? Within the framework of the real world, we seek our path to realizing our own potential and finding our own fulfillment. The green woman reminds us that where the ground is fertile, something will grow. It may be nettles or thistles or roses or carrots or sand burrs or peaches, but it will be something because fertile earth never remains empty. She tells us to stay earthed, to attend to our own growing ground, keeping it fertile, aerated, and well watered, and to pay attention to what grows there. It is up to us to root out what we don't want within ourselves and to nurture what we do. She also reminds us to count our blessings and deal with our difficulties. A tree grows where the seed falls, as do all of our rooted brothers and sisters. They teach us the importance of making the best of what comes to us, showing patience and perseverance in adversity. When a plant is thirsty, it can only do limited things to assuage its thirst, like slowly driving its roots deeper in search of water. But mostly it must wait for water to come to it. Although we have legs and can often take action to get what we want, or at least try to, here we are, there are some things beyond our reach. This is everything we've just talked about. These are the things we can learn from the green woman's example, waiting patiently and with expectant gratitude. Yet at the same time, she counsels us to take risks, to let new and unfamiliar wild seeds grow and see what they may become. Watch them closely. Some of them may be miracles waiting to happen in our lives. As we develop our own free and untrammeled creativity, the green woman grows within us. And the reverse of this is, I like to look at her. The reverse of this is when her energy is blocked, growth is stunted. Twisted, the energy of growth goes awry, and we move in directions that are either dead ends or simply inappropriate for us. Or perhaps we try to shift from one extreme to another between growth and stasis, which only yields twisted, stunted, and warped results. In its destructive mode, the energy of growth goes wild. Cancers, both physical and emotional, may result. Alternatively, there may be no growth at all. But in fairy and this world, both, we must either grow or die. We cannot simply hold still. So there's so much to be said in all of that. I'll let you parse out what has the most meaning to you, but I think a lot of what we already talked about was in that prose, in those words. A lot of it too about like if we tell you exactly what it is that you need to correct, then you're going to run off on your own ego-based thing and try to fix it all yourself in a certain way that may not be the best way to go about what your higher self and your guides and source are trying to work through with you on perfecting this situation or this relationship or this negative karma or whatever it is. So at this point then you simply have to keep surrendering to source and surrendering the situation to your higher self and your guides and asking them to help you through it. Like every single day you have to do it every day, not just a one time like, oh, I'm surrendering. Every single day, like every morning now I wake up and I'm like, dear God, Mother, Father, God, I surrender myself to you. Please take care of everything. And let them help you unravel what needs to be unraveled, perfect what needs perfecting, and at the same time having taking what is under your control is how you react to these situations. Is your day going to be crap because you know it's another day in this place situation you don't want to be in, or are you going to try to find the good moments within the situation? They're always there. There's always something. You know, this is parrot guidance. I'm sure you've heard it a million times from a million different gurus and teachers. It's nothing new. Finding ways to look at situations differently, and to enjoy your day so that you're not mired down in this anxiety or depression or hurt feelings or whatever it might be, because it's just going to it's just going to be the rest of your life. Then it's just going to be a slog through it, and you're going to end up sick, maybe with this cancers thing. I talked about real and cancers. So, you're going to end up this physical body cannot handle these lower emotions and lower grade consciousness things for very long before the physical body, it's very quick, the physical body starts to be affected. As soon as we lower our consciousness, I swear, like a matter of like a week or so, you will already feel your physical body be falling prey to that. The more you can rise above that, and like Asha says, find the things that bring you joy and light you up and just cling to them, whatever they are, and keep doing them, keep doing the things that help you feel better about yourself, the situation, the self-care, all of that. Cling to those things, because those are the things that are going to help you get through whatever it is you need to get through so that you can perfect this, whatever it is, and move beyond it. Let me just see if there's anything else that Spirit wants to say. Okay, they are complete. I am complete. I gotta move on and do other things in my day. So I hope this brought you some sense of either like, oh, someone else is saying something I've already heard, so that must mean it's meant for me, like a sign. Or if this is totally new to you and this is the first you're hearing this, I would definitely, like I said, listen to it multiple times and see what you can gather from this. And there's many other resources on the channel here for you. This channel's been around for almost 8 years. And actually, it's 8 years this month. TLC for the Soul. There's over 1,000 videos. Many of that's timeless content. I'm also an author, and all my ebooks are free to read. Links to everything I talk about are always in the show notes. I didn't use any of my own decks today, but I do have my own decks if you're interested in taking a look at any of those. And until we meet again, which I'm not sure what our next show will be or when it's going to be, but as I'm guided, I come on and do these things. But I want to thank you so much for joining me here, and we will see you all again soon. Take care. This episode has been brought to you by Loveland Carnival. Tuesday and Friday nights, come see Sarah the Strong Lady as she balances Seamus McRibbit and a host of other characters on her balancing wheel of strength. Join us for 50% off popcorn nights on Wednesdays and a special showing of the magical, mystical world of Loveland on the big screen in the city park. Loveland Carnival, a place where all kids, big and small, are welcome.